Yojimbo is a 1961 Japanese samurai film co-written, produced, edited, and directed by Akira Kurosawa. In the film, a ronin arrives in a small town where competing crime lords fight for supremacy. The two bosses each try to hire the newcomer as a bodyguard. Plot: in 1860, during the final years of the Edo period, a ronin played by Toshiro Mifune wanders through a desolate Japanese countryside. Coming to a fork in the road, he chooses which path to take at random by throwing a branch onto the ground and following the path that it points towards. While stopping at a farmhouse for water, the ronin overhears an elderly couple lamenting that their only son, not wanting to waste his life as a farmer, has run off to join the gamblers, who have descended on a nearby town overrun with criminals and divided between two rival yakuza bosses. The stranger heads to the town where he meets Ganji, played by Eijiro Tono, the owner of a small izakaya, who advises him to leave. He tells the ronin that the two warring bosses, Ashitora, played by Kyu Sazenka, and Seibei, played by Sizaburo Kawazu, are fighting over the lucrative gambling trade run by Seibei. Ashitora had been Seibei's right-hand man until Seibei decided that his successor would be his son Yoichiro, played by Hiroshi Tachikawa, a useless youth. The town's mayor, a silk merchant named Tazeman, played by Kamatari Fujiwara, had long been in Seibei's pocket, so Ashitora aligned himself with the local sake brewer, Tokumon, played by Takashi Shimura, proclaiming him the new mayor. After sizing up the situation and recognizing that no one in town cares about ending the violence, the stranger says he intends to stay, as the town would be better off with both sides dead. He first convinces the weaker Seibei to hire his services by effortlessly killing 3 of Ashitora's men. Seibei decides that with the ronin's swordsmanship, the time is right to deal with Ashitora. However, Ronin eavesdrops on Seibei's wife Orin, played by Isuzu Yamada, who orders Yoichiro to prove himself by killing the ronin after the upcoming raid, saving them from having to pay him. When asked his name, he sees a mulberry field and states his name is Kawabatake Sanjuro, where Kawabatake is mulberry field and where Sanjuro is 30 years old. Sanjuro leads the attack on the other faction, but then resigns over Seibei's treachery, expecting both sides to massacre each other. His plan is foiled due to the unexpected arrival of a Bugyo, a government official, which gives both Seibei and Ashitora the opportunity to make a bloodless retreat and cease their war. The Bugyo leaves soon after to investigate the murder of a fellow official in another town. Sanjuro soon realizes that Ashitora sent 2 men to commit the murder when he overhears them discussing it in Ganji's tavern. With this knowledge, Sanjuro captures the killers and sells them to Seibei, but then tells Ashitora that it was Seibei's men who caught them. An alarmed Ashitora rewards him generously for his help and orders the kidnapping of Yoichiro, whom he offers in exchange for the 2 prisoners. However, Ashitora double-crosses Seibei at the swap when his brother, Unosuke, played by Tatsuya Nakadai, shoots the assassins with a pistol. Anticipating this, Seibei reveals he had ordered the kidnapping of Tokumon's mistress. The next morning, she is exchanged for Yoichiro. Sanjuro learns that the woman, Nui, played by Yoko Tsukasa, is the wife of a local farmer who lost her to Ashitora over a gambling debt. Ashitora then gave her away as chattel to Tokumon in order to gain his support. Sanjuro tricks Ashitora into revealing the safe house where Nui is hidden, then kills the guards posted there and reunites the woman with her husband and son, ordering them to leave town immediately. Pretending to be on Ashitora's side, Sanjuro is able to convince Ashitora that Seibei is responsible for killing his men. The gang war escalates, with Ashitora burning down Tazeman's silk warehouse and Seibei retaliating by trashing Tokumon's brewery. After some time, Unosuke becomes suspicious of Sanjuro and the circumstances surrounding Nui's escape, eventually uncovering evidence of the ronin's betrayal. Sanjuro is severely beaten and imprisoned by Ashitora's thugs, who torture him to find out Nui's whereabouts. Sanjuro manages to escape when Ashitora decides to eliminate Sibei once and for all. As he is being smuggled out of town in a coffin by Ganji, he witnesses the brutal end of Sibei and his family as their home is set on fire and they are all cut down while trying to surrender. Sanjuro recuperates in a small temple near a cemetery. However, when he learns that Ganji has been captured by Ashitora, he returns to town. Sanjuro confronts Ashitora, Unosuke, and their gang, taking on all of them by himself in a duel and killing them easily. He spares only one terrified young man, who turns out to be the youth he met on the way into town, and sends him back to his parents. As Sanjuro surveys the damage, Tazeman comes out of his home, in a samurai outfit and beating a prayer drum. Driven mad, he circles around town and then goes after Tokiman, stabbing him to death. Sanjuro frees Ganji, proclaims that the town will be quiet from then on, and departs. About the film. Yojimbo is directed by Akira Kurosawa. The film's screenplay was written by Kurosawa, Ryuzo Kikushima, and Hideo Oguni. The casting of Yojimbo includes Toshiro Mifune, Tatsuya Nakadai and Isuzu Yamada. Yojimbo was filmed in various locations in Japan. Director Akira Kurosawa employed innovative techniques, including telephoto lenses, to enhance the visual impact of the film. The production showcased Kurosawa's mastery in crafting samurai cinema. The film's music was composed by Masaru Sato. The soundtrack complements the on-screen action, capturing the tension and drama of the narrative while incorporating traditional Japanese elements. Yojimbo was released in Japan on April 25, 1961. The film had a modest budget, and its success was substantial. It performed well at the box office, both domestically and internationally, grossing over $2.5 million. Yojimbo received critical acclaim for its innovative storytelling, cinematography, and Mifune's iconic performance. It is considered a classic and a significant influence on the samurai genre. The legacy of Yojimbo is profound. It not only inspired Western adaptations like Sergio Leone's A Fistful of Dollars, but also contributed to the evolution of action cinema worldwide. Yojimbo had a spiritual sequel titled Sanjuro, 1962, also directed by Kurosawa and featuring Toshiro Mifune. While not a direct continuation, Sanjuro shares similar thematic elements and the character of the ronin. 10 interesting facts about Yojimbo movie. 1. Yojimbo means bodyguard in Japanese. In context it can also be translated as protector or escort. 2. This was a deliberate attempt by Akira Kurosawa to revise the cinema's attitude towards on-screen violence. He wanted to show the damaging effect of violence, rather than the slightly anodyne way that it usually had been depicted before. He later regretted this move, as it spawned a mass movement in international cinema that hasn't abated even today. 3. The film composer Masaru Sato was only given 1 week to compose the film's entire score. 4. Tatsuya Nakadai, who plays the flamboyant, pistol-waving Unosuke here, also plays the main villain role in the sequel, Sanjuro, 1962, although not the same character. 5. Akira Kurosawa was heavily influenced by the American Western for this film, particularly High Noon, 1952, and Shane, 1953. 6. Django, 1966, was inspired by this movie. 7. In one scene the Sanjuro shows skill at knife throwing by impaling a blowing leaf against a wooden floor. This was accomplished by running the shot backwards. In the frame before the knife hits the leaf, you can see the mark of the knife blade on the floor before the knife hits the leaf and the floor. 8. Akira Kurosawa told Toshiro Mifune that his character was like a wolf or a dog and told Tatsuya Nakadai that his character was like a snake. 9. Sergio Leone was inspired by this film and made the famous spaghetti western A Fistful of Dollars, 1964, with a similar plot. However, because Leone did not officially get permission to remake this film, which was copyrighted, Akira Kurosawa sued him and delayed the release for 3 years. 10. Walter Hill remade Yojimbo as Last Man Standing, 1996.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more interesting videos and don't forget to press like button and share.